Hi, my name's John Lundwall. I'm the project leader of the Utah Cultural Astronomy Project, formerly known as the Archaeoastronomy Project of Fremont Indian State Park. This little video is about a Fremont fertility shrine. We're not disclosing the location because it is untouched. The rock panel has not been inscribed with graffiti or vandalism. And this is just a reminder to everyone who watches this to remember that if you come across a rock art panel, please do not touch it. Please do not inscribe anything on the rock face, not your initials. The vandalism on these panels is quite frankly breathtaking and so extensive that it inhibits our ability to research them. And we are researching certain motifs through the panels, linking them to images and ideas in southwestern ethnography and archaeology and beyond into Mexico and Central America, etc. And by the way, this is just me walking through this shrine for the first time that I'm seeing it, and just kind of giving my preliminary observations as I walk through it. So don't hold me to my observations. But we are quite excited about some of the things we are discovering. If you enjoy this topic, please subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Here we have this long passage, natural split in the rock. And by the birthing panel, it starts with a concentric circle. That's your entrance. And then, quite frankly, actually, this might be the exit. The entrance might be at the top. But here it's marked with a concentric circle. And as you enter, you have right here a female figure, nice and large, has hands, has a medallion, but there is the vulva. And then as you come up, that's to the right. As you come up a little further, you have a male figure. There he is, there's his mouth, head, torso, hand, penis, testicles, foot. So these large figures, one a female, one a male, on either side of this crevice that goes way up there. Here we have the gestational cycle in petroglyphs. You've got inception, and then these three female figures that end in a birthing, and then you can see the womb of these others slowly growing. What's really interesting is right above them is a large female figure. It's like the goddess. And we have a male figure here, and he's got two lines emerging from his hands. This one goes vertical right up into the sky, and this other one is a dotted line that links to the hand of the large female figure. There is a cosmology here behind birth that, of course, was well known to the Fremont, but unknown to us. And this is right in front of this massive crack. And right inside the crack is a large petroglyph. On the left-hand side, a male. On the right-hand side, a female. Here we are again, same panel. A little bit further to the right, we have a birthing woman who has what appears to be a fetus right there where the green laser dot is, in her womb. Again, above her, a large, probably female figure, given the rounded hips of that figure. So it's like the goddess, some deity of birth. and she's over the birthing woman. This whole panel is a fertility panel. Again, right next to this large crevice, which they probably perform some rituals in there for their fertility cycle. Here we have another pregnant figure, the trapezoid torso and the rounded hips. And then we have all these. They're very hard to see, but you can see the pecs. It's a parade of anthropomorphs, and they look like they're holding hands. It's like a dance. But most of these figures are female figures, and they're right next to these sheep and a bear print. Bear prints, and then you have these sheep. This is another male figure, but he's wearing a head. The head has tears coming out of the eyes and viscera and blood coming out of the neck, and that blood goes all the way down past his penis to the sheep, which are connected to the spiral, which is connected to the goddess. So there's this head hunting motif is a fertility motif, and we'll have much to say about that later. Here we have the goddess again, and that right there where the green laser is, that's a vulva with a dot inscribed in it. Could be her, it's the point of emergence. It's the vaginal opening where it receives the seed and life emerges.
Could that be a baby inscribed in the afterbirth? And there's the umbilical cord, or there's the umbilical cord to the baby?
Could be.
You have the
afterbirth, the umbilical cord, and the baby. Wow, that's amazing. And look at this guy. He's got one foot up, down like he's leaping up. See that?
Mm-hmm.
That is, I think you're right. That's the infant umbilical cord, afterbirth, next to the mother goddess, next to this headless motif, all along this fertility panel.
And it's all along.
So these figures here have all these dots pecked all around them. Tim calls it mystical dust, but they're literally covered in pecked dots that surround them. And even the female goddess, like the male god is an outline, but the female goddess is pecked in those dots. I think it's a cosmological motif. Again, you know, Puebloan cosmology, the soul comes from the star world. It's the eternal realm. I think that's what that's depicting. Again, here is the female goddess. You can recognize her because her body is pecked in dots, right? And so this guy is just an outline. And so there's another guy who's an outline. Interestingly enough, the sheep are also pecked in dots. And it makes you think the sheep are cosmological motifs. Again, you come over here, and now she's in an outline. And the human, well, you don't know if that's human because she was wearing a headdress. But that's not pecked in dots. That's just literally entire thing pecked into one image. Let's look at down here. Yeah, these are outlines, all outlines. Preliminary interpretation. This first panel is the star world, where the eternal forms and the god and the goddess live, and where life emerges. You have the goddess there, the solar deity with a head around his neck there, and 9 birthing months. All these figures are pecked with dots all around them. You have this natural demarcation, this line in the rock that with a black patina, and then that line curves down. There is a set of figures that curve all the way underneath that line. They stay underneath the natural line of the rock, and it's like the underworld. Anyway, so here we have the goddess figure, the solar male deity. You have sheep, spiral, goddess figure, and then this parade of sheep, again, pecked in with those dots. There is a footprint and a handprint right there. And then these lower figures. And I cannot make it out, but I swear there's a guy holding the head right there. That would be nice. That would be nice to know, but it's so degraded. And then you get into this upper black panel, and so they're all female figures. There's a female figure without arms. There's a birthing figure with the goddess above her. There is, I'm not exactly sure what that is, a pecked line. And we start coming over here, and we get, well, that's a male figure. And he's different than the others, and he's connected with lines way up the rock. And one of the lines in his right hand connects to the female deity up there, and below her are 3 females in different phases of pregnancy, and then this figure here, which looks like the male figure here. It could be maybe the father or some deity over the father. That looks like an axe head that's next to him. And so you have the male figure next to the 3 women in the different phases of childbirth. All of this next to this 200-foot crack, which we're going to go walk through. Hi, the Fremont Shrine you just saw is actually out of the way. It's very hard to get to. Most people will never see it, so I thought I would just share it with you so that you could see a special shrine. It is a special shrine. It is carved at the end of that long fissure in rock. One of the things we've noticed is that the Fremont used cracks, fissures, and caves in rock as special points of emergence. You know, there's a Native American word, sipepu, which means point of emergence. There would be a little hole that they would peck or carve in a rock face or in a shrine, and that would be the sipepu, the emergence point from the eternal world into this world. It was a sacred nexus. And that long fissure in the rock that is part of this fertility shrine probably mimics the birth canal. It is an emergence point. And by walking through it, perhaps at a special time of the year when the sun or moon's in a special position, you are ritually, analogically being born as you walk through the passage. Again, a lot of these petroglyphs are shorthand for a much larger cultural complex that's going on. A lot of people just assume that they're just scribbles or initials or the names of people being carved by the ancient Fremont, but that's not true. They're representing a very wide cultural, cosmological ideology that is at the basis of Fremont culture. What we're seeing here in this panel is the cosmovision of Fremont birth, Fremont fertility. And Fremont birth and fertility is not just about the birth of a human child. It's anything associated with birth, like the birth of the agricultural cycle or rebirth in the next life. There are heavy material and religious concerns embedded in these motifs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, like, subscribe, leave comments, and you can watch some of the other videos our team has put together on our channel. Our team has actually discovered 2 major Fremont calendar panels in the petroglyphs that rival anything in North America. And so it is quite exciting to actually record this in time-lapse video, be the first to figure out what the Fremont were doing with some of these petroglyphs. So enjoy the ride with us, and until next time, we'll see you soon.